some of fantastic. Thank you, Giuseppe. So exactly, I wanted to remind you. So for the past months, I've been sharing quite a lot with the community of teachers and learners here, what we've been going through at my projects. One of them is Amolingua. Amolingua is focused on programs in languages, cultures, and soft skills. So we train individuals, business people, professionals, and there is also LinguaPlus. And LinguaPlus is actually ErasmusPlus funded project, which is focused on multilingual, multicultural teacher training. So kind of, going hand in hand. And with both projects, we've noticed how people, students, professionals, teachers, been struggling, in online learning after, losing the balance of in-person and online activities. Anyways, the first part, what we've got here, it's indeed about, students and their experience. And we talk about school children, adults, everyone who is in front of us while we are teaching. And obviously, apart from, typical frustration of, Zoom fatigue, loss of focus, attention, there are many more challenges, right? So we can talk about, obviously, mental health, feeling lonely, feeling demotivated while in an online classroom. Even like right now, this is a situation when we have some people with cameras and some people are without cameras. And I can tell you that it also affects the environment, because obviously when we can see each other, we can interact. At the same time, like students who are constantly on camera, talking about long school days, right? 6-8 hours, whatever it is, it's exhausting because suddenly you yourself as well can feel it that you are like on the spot, right? Like it's a spotlight, and it means that you can't just, scratch your nose because we are here being recorded. You can't like yawn, whatever it is. So same pressure goes here for students. And what I believe goes first, it's safety, like emotional safety, that's safe environment. And we all, as well, teachers, educators, I myself as well, not only entrepreneur, but linguist, and teacher, I can say that we've been trying to create safe environment. And there have been various situations, especially when we're given like training, like executive training at universities, where we wouldn't be allowed, like in Canada, University of Toronto, we wouldn't be allowed to have recorded sessions with cameras on. So then how to go about it? So we were playing, trying to engage students in various games, whether it's chat, whether it's Chatterfall, speaking. And if you haven't heard of Chatterfall, we will try to do it today, but don't forget. But it's kind of, it's one of the games that could really help to, crack the ice. Moreover, talking about, feeling, let's say, lonely in the process of learning, especially when there are classes that are not that interactive, it's like lecture format. I take as a great example one of the courses, run by Harvard University professor, and his name is like David Milan. He's running CS50 course. I'm just like typing here. Have you ever heard of CS50? Anyone? No, because it's not related to languages. However, you definitely need to look at it. It's focused on informatics. It's an introduction to information technology. And what's amazing about it is the approach, because David started, online, a sort of like blended course long before the pandemic. What he did, he actually asked the administration to get a few cameras in the hall, like lecture hall, where he was sharing his knowledge. And he just brought the classroom into the houses of all the kids, students who couldn't attend in person. So he was one of the first professors who introduced this like blended approach, right? And what's amazing about it, that he manages to interact with people in the classroom, in the hall, and could be like a couple of hundreds, right, attendees, and also those who are online. Now, obviously, it's Zoom, that, and they are tasks and they are projects. And that's amazing in a way how you can put it together in sense of like creating, well, this environment, like creative environment with jokes, well, with have a task, whatever is there, you can always introduce it because it doesn't have to be always like subject related, you know, in a way that, okay, if like we are learning language as a language, we're learning math as a math. No, even adults love to play. So it doesn't matter whether, well, we're talking about youngsters or adults, when it's a learning process, especially online, especially for a long period of time, we need to keep them engaged, right? And so Dan, like one of the best examples, I would say. Moreover, while talking about Zoom fatigue, I already mentioned it's kind of typical now, I suggest that for all of us, we need to introduce physical exercises. And we've been doing some, we've been experimenting, especially here with our cohorts, with groups. And what we noticed that pretty much even the easiest exercises like massage, whatever it is, or like just going around, stretching, every like half an hour in session, just for a few minutes helps. When we talk about kids, obviously they're like balls of energy. You need to slightly, well, adjust your strategy, but still give them time to, well, release this energy. Otherwise, it's impossible. Otherwise, they're like, yes, screens. They're just there. So, well, they won't let you talk, right? And I don't know if you've ever like faced pranks, like a prank by teenagers, but we actually had this. We happened to have like a program English for teen entrepreneurs. And what happened at the start, when they were all full of energy, right, and they were still adjusting, we're still looking when to give them breaks to release energy. They started just with pranks because there was so much creative energy, and it was very hard to sustain and start. So be aware of this, how you could measure the temperature of the room and adjust to each category and group. But pretty much it's the recipe is simple. Always give them breaks, and to yourself as well, because if you've been teaching for a long time, for a few hours a day, you need a break. Moreover, it's definitely about teamwork, right? So we are today relatively like moderate group, not that many people, which is good, because what we can do, we can start a discussion. We can actually, pose some serious questions. The same about online, classrooms, where you can use breakout rooms, whatever you use here, and then you can throw these team discussions. Again, if it's like math class, language class, even there, you can still have it. Whether it's a particular topic, particular rule, whatever it is. And you can always, encourage one of the students, let's say one of the best students, to kind of be a facilitator, a moderator, because they love responsibility. You empower them, you give them something to thrive in. Apart from that, obviously, I suggest that instead of throwing like bulks of information at students, you consider different approaches. And that's been one of the cornerstones, I would say, our success in the past 2.5 years. It's about, knowledge bites. And this is mostly about synchronous and asynchronous learning. And this part, I'm kind of starting moving as well to learning design. What I mean by it? Well, we all know how we go with, programs. We've got one topic, then the other, another, and from lesson to lesson, we go and we continue. Maybe we're repeating somewhere we're rehearsing, whatever. But what's happening when we start using flipped classroom approach? Meaning, I don't know if somebody knows what is flipped classroom approach, just feel free to share. Flipped classroom? No? Yes? No? Nope? Okay. Yes. Amelia? Yes. Good. So flipped classroom approach, Camille, feel free, yeah, to just like write more, yeah, cool, good, yeah, Shireen as well. So flipped classroom approach. Camille, good. So flipped classroom approach basically means that we provide some materials, especially theory, before the classroom. And like during our session, yeah, in classroom, we throw a discussion. And this helps to retain much more information in the memory of our students. Because obviously when you're actively engaged in a discussion, you're better at memorizing it and you're better at just understanding it. So this is like first. Moreover, what we've gone there, it's definitely like materials, let's say some pre-recorded videos, or maybe you can create some bundles of information which would correspond to the level of knowledge different groups of students. So whatever it is, you can put together a few small videos, even if you're at home, you can record them. Yeah, just like as simple as that. Yeah, home video, whatever it is, maybe like 2-3 minutes. Then from there, you can give a couple of tasks. You can give like some short paragraphs to read. And from there, you can go to already synchronous classroom and have a discussion. And this is kind of, well, I would say an experimental approach that's been developed by, well, neuroscience group. We're talking about Tracy Tokuhama. I'm not sure whether this name rings a bell. So Dr. Tracy Tokuhama has been working on multilingualism and neuroscience, and they've been working on neuroscience schools like at Harvard Extension School. And pretty much this is one of the ways how you could potentially approach structuring your online sessions here and like courses and bringing students into the environment of learning where they learn basically every day, whether they in the classroom or outside, and it's not something boring when they have to cram materials. It's like multi-format, yeah, multifaceted, where they can watch, they can read, they can listen to. You can provide links to podcasts. You can provide, well, YouTube videos, whatever it is there, like I would say whatever corresponds, yeah, to the course. And from there, you can also monitor how your students react. And in terms of like learning design, obviously, we need to remember that we can't take whatever we had, well, in person, let's say like pre-pandemic, and just put it without any change online. And we've been like facing it, like this misconception in the past like months. I would say the strongest one was last year, where we had one of our executive programs at the business school at the University of Palermo in Argentina, and we had to bring like workshops online, and it was on public speaking skills and English for non-native English speakers, right? So it's a lot of communication, a lot of exercises. And what happened there, that the university administration was pushing us to take all these like 4 hours, 6 hours, yeah, like sessions, put it all online, one take. No. After that, like what followed, couple of months of negotiation and the training of the faculty, like staff here, and later some of professors of, well, better ways to conduct it. And then the thing, you always online need to cut the amount, the length of sessions. You need to make them not like as short as possible, but I would say definitely under 1 hour, under half an hour, whatever it's possible, because we're talking about attention spans. Yeah, an attention span is quite short, again, especially right now online. And if you manage to have it like short presentation here, 15-20 minutes, great. Yeah, talking, interaction for another 15-20 minutes, wonderful. Then work in teams for another 15-20 minutes, fantastic. And then between sessions, all the asynchronous materials together with project-based learning, always forming teams and throwing challenges at these teams, saying, all right, well, how about this project? whether it's going to be completing homework, whether it's going to be a presentation, whether it's a text to learn, whatever it is, it's a project. And if you put it there, like challenges, it's milestones every week, and let's say then you put them together into like 1 month, it's going to be already easier as well for the students to go further, step by step, and noticing their progress. Again, like regardless of the age. While then talking obviously about teachers who are trying, especially whether it's school, university, whether it's independent specialist here, wherever you are, well, it's tricky because obviously being online and offline differs. And the amount of energy you need to put into online goes through the roof. Even now, because we're trying to engage, we're trying to make it as interactive as possible at the start. So, and the energy, so the exchange of energy is kind of broken, because when we're in a real classroom, what happens? We just feel the waves of energy. While we online, it's different. So what to do as well about all the engagement? My suggestion would be definitely, have icebreakers, even like now, trying to ask some questions using chat, then trying, to make jokes, trying to be a little bit more informal, because indeed, if you keep doing it every day for a few hours, burnout is like inevitable. Apart from that, definitely you can always engage some students in like particular roles. You can, assign somebody to be an icebreaker, and another person could be, a note taker, actually making some short notes for the rest of the group. And another one could be presenter, who would also use those notes and sum up, let's say 5 bullet points, at the end of the class. Whatever it is, you can always try to play it out so that you're not the only one constantly talking, and be in the spotlight. Then it will help you a lot, to drive class, forward, and also making, if not 100% of students, but the majority of students feeling that they are seen and then they are participating, right? Obviously, it depends, methodology. But anyways, while talking about the whole experience, what's important, and I believe that schools and universities are still missing out on that, and Amolingua have been working really hard on that, it's about community. Because obviously, when we are in person, what happens? We are all connecting, we're talking, and students feel that they belong there, like physically. But when we are online, it's quite tough. So if we think about it now, using all platforms, apps, gadgets, that's great. We still need to think about community. And a few years ago, Singularity University, so some of the speakers were talking about these different stages. They are like products, services, like there are different companies as well in tech. And then there's platform, and the final one is ecosystem, community. So this very stage, a lot of institutions are stuck at the stage of platform. And it's understandable because, the pandemic came to us as a shock. We were not sure how to do it. And even now, lots of platforms are still, not at the level, because first year when the pandemic started, we had to deal with the tools that we had at our hand, and it was like a catastrophe. I don't know if you've ever used Blackboard. Like Blackboard is just like a walking catastrophe, like for universities, as we've been working with universities, and they've contracted Blackboard and they can't do anything else, So we were looking for alternatives. Anyways, so from platform, we definitely need to look at a community and ecosystem. And one of the ways, obviously, to build it is also introduce chats. So apart from having all the sessions, Zooms, materials, whatever you have, you need to find space where all the participants, all the students can talk and collaborate, whether it's a forum on the platform, whether it's Slack, whether it's Telegram, WhatsApp, whatever it is. Like, I don't remember, there was another one, Signal, and there are one more. So they're different types of chats where indeed you can bring all students, and again, just check on them. Yeah, you can assign somebody as a leader or representative and see how they engage in. And it doesn't have to be always about, well, studies. It could be also about different topics, maybe about their hobbies, about their interests that could actually connect them. And then you can look together at what kind of common purposes, like objectives they have, what they'd like to achieve. Just looking at it from the perspective of, yeah, communication and connection. Because, yeah, during the pandemic, we all found that we were lacking connection, yeah, in our online world. So in order to create this connection, we need to gather a sense of belonging, community, and one of the ways to do it is indeed through communication between classrooms. And, well, last but not least, if you've been here trying already to engage students into platforms, communities, ecosystems, probably you've heard of AR, VR, yeah, like augmented reality, virtual reality, and obviously now more and more, well, companies and gadgets also stepping into the educational, right, field. And what's interesting about it, I would say that even though, yeah, they are all developing, there is like a very interesting character. It's called like Bob Cooney. He's one of the leading VR experts for education and also, yeah, for gaming. And he said, guys, this is all about experience in a way that technology has been changing, is changing, will be changing. So in our case with Amolingua, we've been like building our platforms for our needs, and we've been like on the third attempt right now. And it's fine, because if you put technology into the core of your experience, well, it's very easy to fail at it, at this task. But if you put, well, communication, engagement, experience itself, environment, whatever you have there in the core, then technology doesn't matter. I mean, in a way that you can always try different types of technology, choose whatever works for you, and then you can mix and match. And from there, you can, well, create something more. That's kind of, yeah, one of the ideas. And I believe that we all going through this transition, and obviously teachers trying to create the immersive experience online for, well, students might have a lot of challenges, obviously, but one of them is that the whole thing of teacher is being in transition, yes, being transformed to more of like a mentor, maybe a coach, somebody who is not the source of the knowledge, but somebody who's accompanying students here on that path, of the learning path. And in this case, if you start looking at yourself from that perspective, you can provide, even with more tools, with more opportunities, all your students using what is at hand and what is over on the table. So from that perspective, it may indeed help you, yeah, to look into the future, this academic year, next academic year, and see, okay, how I could potentially experiment, what else I could introduce, yeah, for my students in order to make them feel, well, bilingual, bicultural, whatever it is, just bringing this another language here, another dimension, not only to their, well, computer screen, but also, well, to their head, to their reality. And that's me right now. So I would love to hear some of your thoughts, some of your questions. Whatever you have, feel free to share. We'll just open our interactive discussion. All right. Yeah, Michelle, just go ahead. Yeah, just unmute yourself. Sure.
Hi, nice to meet you. Thank you so much. That was really interesting. And thank you for organizing this. I think teachers, we always help each other. And I miss that part with the online, getting together with other teachers and actually talking about, oh, I use this and you use that and this book and that book. And now it's all about technology and this technology and that game. And this really works. So I completely agree with you that there are so many resources out there that we can use and combine in so many ways that, in my opinion, make the whole learning process much better to a certain extent. Like, we are not so stuck with one book or two books or three books. And on the other hand, as you said, the part where we struggle the most is with the length of sessions and not to make them boring, because that part of interacting and all that and being yourself all the time talking, like now that you wanted interaction, and it's like, how do you get that? That's the most difficult part.
Good. Thank you so much, Natalia. Yeah, totally agree. And another thing indeed, that while online, yeah, it gives you more freedom in terms of, yeah, like using resources, materials, yeah, looking up something, yeah, very quickly. And I've noticed it because I've been teaching like online since 2010. And before that, so I was also, yeah, like offline, and eventually I decided, yeah, like sticking like 90% of my time, yeah, online, because I mean, that's the most convenient way right now. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, more, please share.
Okay, so I think we've come to a point where we're forced to use the online platforms. There's no choice anymore. I think a lot of teachers, at least I'm from the early childhood arena, I'm a Montessori trainer, and I think we've resisted online platforms for the longest time, especially for young kids. And now we've been thrown in there. It's like we're there and we have to use it. And I think everyone's had a very steep learning curve, which is very good. But as a trainer, one of the things that I have been very mindful, and actually I resonate with what you said, is, having a lot of those movements and breaks and stuff like that. So what I tell teachers is to have a heartbeat in the classroom. If it's flat, your heart doesn't beat anymore. So have a heartbeat where you're going between active engagement and passive, where you're asking the student to do something, and then go active and passive and active and passive. And I think that visual of a heartbeat has pretty much gotten ingrained. And the only difference is that with maybe a 2 or 3 year old child, that heartbeat is every 2 to 3 minutes. And with older kids, it's a lot more. So yeah, thank you. I resonate with that. And that was what I'd like to add.
Thank you so much, Arina. I mean, you're literally like sharing some very interesting in terms of, yeah, this heartbeat and then active and passive, yeah, like approach. I'd say that we started bringing more of like public speaking training to teachers as well, because obviously a lot of teachers never experienced online teaching, yeah, like how to do it, like when you were on the spot. And it all started when some of my colleagues, like teaching at universities, were writing to me saying, listen, I'm giving a class on like political like theory or game theory, and I'm just failing at it, just failing what to do. And I understand, because yeah, like guys just didn't feel, well, sure, like secure enough in a way, right, to be in support and actually delivering without getting all this like immediate feedback. So maybe a little bit, yeah, of public speaking training, where you can see how you could, well, balance this, how you can see whether the attention span, how you can measure, yeah, the engagement, and then you will feel a little bit more confident, a little bit more relaxed, and it means that you will actually get tired less. So get stressed less.
Thank you.
Good.
Ekaterina, I have a question.
Please.
Yeah, according to your experience, what do you think about personalization? Because I believe actually like each student is unique, right? Each person is unique. So in the way you learn, of course, each one of us engage with the lesson in different ways. So according to your experience, how do you think about personalization, and how you actually handle personalization in a classroom context?
It's very good question. Yeah, I mean, obviously, on the one hand, we try to tailor like all sessions and programs here, but it's impossible to tailor it like to everyone when you're like in a cohort, yeah, in a group. So we've been playing around a little bit. I've got my theory, which is called language alter ego. Yeah, language alter ego implies that we all slightly change our personality while learning another language, another culture. And so there, yeah, I'm still in the process, still, the station yet to go, all that. But what's been going on, that when we introduce this concept and we allow people to act a little bit, yeah, and I'm talking about as teenagers, yeah, or like young adults, something shifts, in a way that they get like more playful, like because they feel that actually they could act slightly differently from what they are in like everyday life. That's first. Second, definitely we can see that, well, some people, well, have like more, let's say, not like better developed cognitive skills, but in a way that they are more focused, more concentrated, and some need like another like additional explanation, or perhaps they just need a little bit more time to process information. So in such case, it's all right, you don't have to highlight it, but you can note to yourself whether, like, let's say there are two groups, yeah, in your classroom, yeah, representing this both like approaches, or maybe there are even more. And it's okay, and you can distribute tasks and projects when you're talking about teamwork accordingly. And maybe you could put in one team one person who's like quick, yeah, to come up with ideas, yeah, like, and remembers everything, with a person who needs a little bit more time, and another person, yeah, who needs like a different approach as well. And then when you mix them, they also learn from each other, because they have their own coping mechanisms in learning. So that's always good when this peer-to-peer learning happening, not only, let's say, just like how to say this word or whatever it is, but also in their learning strategies.
Okay, thank you. No, that's really interesting, and I believe actually like peer learning is a really interesting concept, and I believe like can help also to uniform the kind of knowledge level in a classroom, because students can kind of teach each other. How do you approach it in asynchronous context? Because of course I understand during the class, okay, students can learn from each other, but when they are actually like by themselves, is there any technique or any tool that you find useful to help students when they are by themselves?
Totally. Yeah, that's why we've been building already the third generation of the platform for us personally, because we've been trying to combine, well, videos, like properly, creating courses, like video courses in studios that are well refined, just like bite-sized videos, then tasks, exercises, information in bundles, as I mentioned already. Yeah. So for example, if a student is beginner but would like to learn more, so it's here. If like there's some background knowledge here, advanced knowledge there. And what helps, yeah, it's obviously like community, yeah, talk. So for example, this very moment, we are running like two big programs. They all relate to like to communication, public speaking, like soft skills in another language. And what's happening there, we have deadlines. Yep. So between sessions, the interactive sessions, we have deadlines for tasks, for materials, and they all will comment complete tasks. And then our team of moderators gives feedback in writing, plus checking in the chat. So kind of, yeah, putting it all together, trying to make it as engaging as possible and also as exciting as possible in a way. And then they also have tasks in teams, and like teams, like 2 or 3 people, no more. And that helps kind of this like as well, like buddy, like program buddy approach, help them to push forward, so that the dropout rate is quite low, in a way that somebody tries to skip a session or gets frustrated if something's not done, because there's always like another person or maybe a couple of persons who could help if a person gets stuck. Yep. Okay, thank you. Any more thoughts? Feel free to share, guys, whatever is there. Happy to see like under, well, comment. Okay, so have you ever heard of global education futures? No? Okay, so global education futures, I suggest like you have a look. Global education futures, it's a project I'd say it's a movement, probably. It's like Global Education Futures 2035 that started a few years ago, I think like 6 years ago, and I've been part of it. And what we were doing, well, pre-pandemic, we would gather for brainstorming foresights with specialists, represented from different countries from around the world, and we would try to predict the future of education, because the basic idea was that the education would be developing the same way everywhere. And it proved us so damn wrong. It's completely like not true. So everywhere, and every region, education is developing its own way. And it's quite fascinating. So you can go there, you can see the reports, you can see like maps of threats and opportunities that are coming up, and it's quite exciting, because I believe that whatever is coming up, in the following years, we just need to kind of seize the opportunity and readjust. Otherwise, like, we just stress out and probably fall out from the teaching and learning process. But this is, one thing I'd say, definitely look into. And there's another one, which is like called Atlas of Emerging Jobs, which could also help you. It's just, it's like Atlas of various jobs in different fields, but there's also part on education. And I believe that it could be also quite beneficial for you to have a look at it. It's like, it's distributed for free. You can find like a PDF version here online. Okay. Great. Anything else? Yeah. Ladies, gentlemen, or it's time for Giuseppe to share.
Yeah, maybe we can do like, we prepare a little demo of Edugo platform today, so we can actually put in context some of those ideas that we have been discussing today, and then maybe at the end we can have like another session of Q&A, and maybe there are also new kind of ideas that are emerging after watching to this demo. So I will ask actually Nicole to
hello everyone.
Introduce yourself. Okay, so Nicole is actually our business developer executive at Edugo.AI, and I will ask Nicole to help me out during this demo. So she will share the screen. I will comment on that, so we can have like a clearer picture. Actually, I found fascinating about many of the topics that not Ekaterina or Ekaterina.
Ekaterina or Kate, whatever. So
what Katie shared, because I believe that some of those principles apply also in the designs of our platform. And basically, in our experience working with many education institutions around the world, from China to Europe to the US, we've been really like working with different institutions. We've been actually like observing how like people learn around the world and how teachers teach around the world. And we're trying to build tools that can empower teachers, but using artificial intelligence. That actually is our, like a special skill, because myself being a technical founder, I always wanted to push in the direction of artificial intelligence. And I believe that artificial intelligence can help us a lot in order to improve the way we teach and the way we learn. So today, actually, I would like to share with you some of those tools that are the result of more than 4 years of iterations and experimentations on the field. And I would like also to discuss with you what are some of the implications of those technologies. Because I believe that we're moving into a future where artificial intelligence is becoming more and more evolved and powerful. And so I believe also as we move online, there is actually the opportunity to use those tools in order to empower the learning process. And we're trying to find actually the right balance to do that, because we believe AI by itself is not the right solution, but I believe there will be the human element combined with artificial intelligence will be what will really give us the power to achieve more. So Nicole, if you can, please share the screen. And we are going to show you actually, this is one of the platforms that we usually build. Usually this is customized, so all the elements can be white labeled according to a specific language institution that we serve. In this case, this one is a demo platform, so there will be our logo of Edugo. And you know, our platform actually has two main areas. The first area is basically content creation part. So we allow teachers to create content and to be really creative in the creation of learning activities. As Ekaterina was mentioning, actually, when you move online, you don't want to just stream like 1 hour long video of a lecture. That will be like super boring and super low engagement. And what you want to do on the other end, you want to create activities. You want to create actually some kind of, you know, interaction that can stimulate active learning, right? So you want to stimulate the student, all the senses. You want to create all this kind of like really engaging activities. And that's what we do in one part of our platform. The other part is more for synchronous learning. So basically our platform has a video call system integrated that then analyzes the content of the conversation and generates you know, personalized content at the end of the class that is based on what actually has been the topic of the discussion during the class. So it's taking information from the teacher and it then is generating activities that the students can learn after class. So actually, to stick more of what we discussed with Ekaterina, we're going to demo to you the part about the content creation. And so we're going to see how we can generate some you know, really engaging activities really easily. So because we know that one of the key elements for teachers is the ease of use, and there's those. Okay, I don't know what happened to the recording. Okay, well, we're back on track. Okay, so here, for example, you can decide to upload different kind of content in the platform. I think Nicole prepared a video, but you can also upload, for example, a podcast, or you can upload like audios, any kind of multimedia content that you might find in the internet, and you might find also your students might be really interested in that kind of topic. So here, what you have to do is just select a video. For example, this will be a video of an English lesson.
Yeah, I'm gonna play a little.
Okay.
Small talk is an incredibly important function of English conversation. It's a
Okay, so this is actually a video about small talks. So it's more about like, you know, the functional language. So it's not specific about the grammar, but it's more about like describing how you can do small talks in English. And basically here, the AI is already like transcribing all the content of the video, and is also translating in Italian. So this platform actually is created to learn English from Italian, but can be actually customized according to different language combination. So maybe in the case of Ekaterina, that she's in Argentina, she will have teaching English from Spanish, I guess. So all the language combination can be supported. Okay, so what Nicole is doing now is basically selecting some of the key language points of the video. So those are key sentences that the teacher would like the student to focus on. And here you can see that the system is basically taking a frame of that part of the video. And it is also like—
what do you like to do in your spare time?
Sorry.
Okay, great. And okay, so in this case, actually, like the transcription has been accurate, because now that's another point. AI systems are getting really accurate in speech recognition. And so now the process of creation of this kind of content becomes really easy and fast. This was not able, we will not be able to do that a few years ago. So now I think also in terms of technology development, we are at an inflection point where actually the technology is getting really accurate. So now you're able to develop this kind of system that before were not possible. So if you move forward, the next step will be, now the system is actually like processing this language content, and we're doing some AI on top of that. So it's like analyzing the structure of the language, is extracting the words, it's connecting words to dictionary, it's doing some what's called NLP, which is natural language processing. And it basically created all this kind of language material. And the teacher now can select also some of the key sentences, keywords, sorry, that you know, would like to teach to the student. And basically, that's it. That's actually now the AI system generated a series of activities that are actually really different in the sense that involves all different skills for the student. So you have multiple choice questions. You have also like you need to write the answer. You need to actually fill in the blank, and so on and so forth. So actually our system can generate hundreds of activities. It's also taking the videos, the frame of the video. And basically here the teacher can, select the exercises that wants, that are think they are the most interesting, or can also like modify those exercises or even add the new exercises. Okay. So here actually we have a system where you can add new kind of exercises that the AI didn't generate. For example, you can also assign homework. And I think if you sign up through the webinar platform that we share on LinkedIn page, you will be able to actually ask access to one of those lessons so you can try it by yourself. So basically here now we have a preview of what the lessons will look like. And now actually the lesson is divided by different skills. And of course, this can be customized, so different kinds of skills can be tested. And this is really easy to share with the students. So you just click finish lesson, and now you have all your database of lessons that you created, and then you can just press share and share the link to your students. And this actually increase a lot the experience, because now you don't have anymore just a static video that is quite boring and not engaging, but now actually the video became a series of interactive exercises. And now you're also able to track the progress of each student. So you're able also like to see which students are engaging in those activities. So this is actually like, in general, Nicole actually shared the link of the lesson we just created in the chat room. So if you guys want to just click on the link and you can learn some small talks in English and do some activities by yourself. And so I think this is really connected to what Ekaterina was saying about creating more engaging experience for students. Of course, this is just like one small part of our platform. We don't want to go too much deep into a demo because that's not the purpose of this webinar. But we just wanted to, connect to what Ekaterina was saying and just showing some real product and how actually can be used. So just as an example. And the core principle that we discover over the years is the fact that we believe that the teachers should have the power to create this kind of content, because one of the key elements is about personalization. We discover personalization is playing a really important role in student engagement. We are actually running a platform online, and we discover that when the student is actually learning content that has been created for his learning objective, the personalization increases a lot, and then the engagement increases a lot, and the retention increases also a lot. So this is one really important element we discovered, and that's the reason why we are really pushing forward in that direction. And we believe that the future of online language learning will be AI powered, and we believe that it's going to be more personalized. So that's been actually what our key focus, and we are going to push in this direction into the future. So yeah, if you're interested in knowing more, then you can also contact us, and we can show other parts of the platform. But right now, actually, what we would like to do is, to open up again to some discussion with you guys. We would like to know what is your opinion about this kind of system, and what you guys, how would you use it, or if there is something else that you would like to see in this kind of system.
I'll say something.
Yeah, Luciana, yes.
No, that we are in Spain, but I'm from Argentina too. I'm from Cordoba, Argentina. Yeah, but I live in Spain. Sure. The thing is that we have a platform that is called Capitán Pomelo, and what we do is the methodology is just with designs, and it has nothing written. So your tools seem to match perfectly with what we need, because our sessions are very personalized. We sometimes think of drilling without being drilling. And I'm going to look into it because I had an appointment last week and I couldn't attend in the end. So thank you. I think you are on the right track as well.
Okay, thank you so much. Definitely interested to learn more about what you do, Luciano. And anyway, in our team, we have 4 people from Argentina as well. So we have also Argentina soul in Edugo. Yeah, definitely. Our product manager is from Buenos Aires. Great.
We are all over the place.
If you want, I can go to the balcony and show you Buenos Aires. But it's all good. But Giuseppe, it is very interesting what you're showing, and especially how the technology has been like developing. And I can see as well, there's a question from Jana that she's asking, how does it work with students who don't know Italian, like translation?
Yeah, okay. That's actually a really important element, because first of all, the platform we just showed you today is a demo, and so that it can be customized in other language pairs. But also we encounter many schools that actually don't believe in this kind of like translation approach, right? And so they would like to learn, teach languages using the direct approach, so just using the target language. And so one of the key elements of our system is the fact that actually the kind of exercises can be completely customized according to the school-specific pedagogical approach. And so don't worry if you don't like the translation exercises, we just remove them. This is just a sequence of exercises that we show to you today, just to give an example of how the platform works. But the power of our system is in the flexibility of the pedagogical approach. And we love to work with education institutions, because we are encoding their pedagogical approach in our system. And that's actually what is our unique value proposition, let's say. Our other platforms are really static in the sense that you need to follow their approach. Maybe they're from book publishers and their content and their pedagogical approach is really fixed. In this kind of situation, actually, we believe that each school has their own unique pedagogical approach, and we would like to adapt to the different approaches. Okay, Tiziana is asking, it is affordable tool for solo teachers, or your target market are schools? So Tiziana, actually, our target market right now are schools, universities, and big e-learning platforms. And so we provide kind of technology to those institutions. However, we have also like a beta group of individual teachers. And so we are actually experimenting with individual teachers and to get feedback. And we let those teachers to do experiments with their students, and we talk a lot with them. So if you would like to use the platform, then you can talk with me or Nicole, and we can arrange actually like a platform for you, and so you can enter in our beta group. And so basically, the only thing we ask in return is that you give us feedback about how you use the technology. We are planning in the future to do that, but it is not something that is our main focus right now, because the market is really big, and now we focus on language institutions. Okay, great. Okay, amazing. Any other questions or comments? I see actually here in the audience Arkady Ziblerman, because we've been interacting on LinkedIn, and he has some really interesting ideas about subconscious learning. I don't know, Arkady, if you want to share something with us. Okay, maybe it's not available. Yeah, because the one thing I discovered actually over those years is that, pedagogy is like kind of a philosophy. It's kind of like everyone has own beliefs, and there are so many different ways actually you can teach and learn a language. So many interesting approaches. And so that's the reason why at the beginning I had my own beliefs about pedagogy, and now I decided to become pedagogy agnostic. So I don't want to follow anymore like a pedagogy approach, but I just want to have like flexibility to embrace any new kind of approach and use kind of scientific method to test it with real students and gather data. And that's actually one of the main experiments that we would like to run in the long term with Edugo, is collecting different pedagogical approach across different language institutions and then to measure actually what is the impact. Because I think right now is really difficult to have this kind of data, how different pedagogical approaches actually like are being, what is effectiveness in real life applications. I don't know, Ekaterina, do you have any kind of research on that part? Because it would be really interesting to know what is the way like a linguist approaches, like, you know, when you decide you want to approach a specific pedagogical, you know.
I would say that's exactly what we've been doing like for past year with ErasmusPlus, yeah, this multilingual, multicultural teacher training, because we've been collecting best practices. And like we're talking about like around the world, and also building like multilingual, multicultural toolkit, but with some games, yeah, tools, whatever there. And well, we're releasing it soon, and we will talk with you as well, Giuseppe, about it, because we'll be releasing it for free for teachers, because the idea is to make an impact on at least 20,000 teachers and students. Yeah, so everybody is like welcome on board at some point, like in a few months when we're going to have it tangible, so that we can help you as well to try out, experiment with, well, so like to speak, yeah, best practices, which are probably, you know, somewhere they're best, but like for some people they're not, right? So it's again like eventually it comes to the point of experimenting and seeing what works for you the best and for your students. And I don't believe that there is like one universal approach. It's like, it's impossible to have one universal currency for the whole world, right? Like Mundo once said, yeah, like economists like 70s, like, no, we can't do this. So here's the same, we can't have one universal approach. So there should be at least a few. Yep. Thank you.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Okay, guys, do you have any other questions or comments? Or there is nothing, no more questions. Maybe we can wrap up for today. It's already 1 hour, so I think we are on time to wrap up. So I would like to thank a lot Katie to join us today, because it was amazing and I learned a lot. It was really inspirational for me. And I will actually use some of this knowledge to improve our own software system. And I'm really looking forward for more collaboration. For any of you actually would like to contact me, Nicole or Katie, feel free to, you know, drop us an email, and or connect on LinkedIn, and we'll be really happy to have a further conversation. This webinar will be available also in Edugo.AI YouTube channel, so you can follow our channel. You can find also the previous webinars that we've been running, and many other webinars are coming for this year. We're going to run actually every 2 weeks. We are going to have another webinar, so stay tuned. And yeah, I don't know, Katie, you want to say something to wrap up?
Yeah, thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Giuseppe. Well, for, you know, having me today. Guys, you're amazing. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Yeah, feel free to connect. Yeah, LinkedIn, whatever, yeah, whatever you need, feel free to share. And yeah, looking forward to all the meetings like that. Yeah, interaction, sharing ideas. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Bye-bye.
Yes.
Bye.
Good.